Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Home Services Home Show where you learn everything you need to know.
And a whole lot you don't.
Isn't that the true story? So, kind of want to get right into it today. We've been getting a lot of customers asking about gutters and the importance of gutters, and different parts of the country, people don't have gutters. Why don't they? Why do they in certain areas? So
When you think about Wisconsin's been dead for the last 6 months, right? November comes, all leaves fall off. December comes, January, February, March, wintertime, crappy. And now that's what it's doing.
And now it's raining a lot. So, what are the different types of gutters out there? What are good maintenance-free gutter systems? We sell one. The best, I'd like to say. I mean, I'm slightly partial, but
You might be onto something.
I truly believe that it is. But, we know more than anything, the company really makes the product itself too. So in your opinion, why are gutters so important? And how can some people get away with not having them?
Well, I think it all comes down to the soil composition, right? So many places in Wisconsin is very clay-based soils.
Black dirt with clay underneath it.
Correct. And there's nowhere for water to go. It actually acts like a jack when water gets in it, right? It gets in the cracks and it gets pressure. So clay soils are notoriously bad for making wet basements, cracking foundations. So gutters are imperative that you need to have them if you're in an area with clay soil. Now, there's places like your place in
Very sandy.
Very sandy. It doesn't really matter. It rains, it goes in, drains away.
But I need gutters for a different reason.
100%.
So I need gutters so it's not wrecking my landscaping, splashing back up on my siding, even though I've got great LP Smart siding. That siding along the ground, if you don't have gutters and it just is beat, it will start to deteriorate. So you need gutters there. So I need it for different reasons than some. I'm probably not. I actually looked in my sump pump the other day and it literally had cobwebs and dust in it. Like, I don't think there's ever been water in it, ever.
But if you come to my part of the state,
probably runs all the time.
It runs all the time.
Where I grew up, we had like a 2,000 square foot house. We had 2 sump pumps in the basement. And if it rained for 10 minutes, they're both
running.
Clay.
Oh,
Clay soil.
Yep.
And if we were gone and the power went out and the sump stopped working, wet basement.
Right.
No matter what.
There's nothing more expensive than a wet basement in your house.
And the other part is sometimes you can't even see all the problems. Okay, well, do we need to cut back drywall, or do we just need to pull up the carpet and dry it out? It's a big issue. I can't even tell you how many times we had water in our basement.
I've never seen homeowners cry as much as I've seen homeowners cry with water in the basement.
It's a helpless feeling.
What are you going to do? You can't stop it until it dries out.
Nope.
And then you're right. You don't know the extent of the damage. And when you look at the diversity of the area we cover, right? Like Fox Valley, northern Wisconsin, Madison, Milwaukee, western Wisconsin, there's all sorts of different soil types and what people experience with rain. And that's why when we come out, we look at it, we got to put a plan together of how do you take the water from the roof into the gutters and get it to go away. That plan is very important.
The other thing that I think other gutter companies don't look at is, we go up against a lot of like cover companies, screen companies, and some of them can work pretty well. But here's the problem. Do they know if the gutter system that's up there is working properly to begin with? So a homeowner might get a big rain and you see it's overflowing. Okay, well, is it overflowing because it's plugged? Is it overflowing because you don't have adequate drains? Is it overflowing because you don't have adequate slope on the gutter?
Right.
And they don't know, right? So we're going to cover the gutters. Now the gutters won't clog, but do they actually work right? And that's why with our system gutter shutter, it's the whole thing. So one of the key things that our people do when they go out is we look at the grade around the home. Is this right? I mean, I've seen it where we've got downspouts coming down and going out, and the water goes out and comes right back to the house. Well, that doesn't do anything.
It's never going to work.
That's never going to work.
Right.
So when we redesign a system, we redesign a system to get the water exactly.
I think what you just said,
the ground and away.
I think what you just said is important. It's a system, right? Because there's a lot of gutter companies, especially ones that do covers. I just want to sell you something that benefits them.
Yep.
And you get a cover, you think you're good, but you're right. If the system didn't work to begin with, no cover will ever work. So I think that's when we look at designing your system for your house, where you live, how your house sits on the lot. It all matters.
It's one of the biggest things that I try to relay to our sales reps is we're not just there to sell them something just because.
Correct.
Okay. if it's not going to actually help them, I've seen reps go out and sell homeowners new open gutters and they live in the woods. Did that help them? It doesn't help them. So I've added stuff in like, you know what, let's give them something so they don't have to clean it.
Right.
Like we want to help, not just sell you something. And I see it all the time. Like now, if you go to a house in the woods and they don't have any gutters, well, selling them open gutters will help them.
Better than nothing, right?
Better than nothing. So let's talk about the different types. So you've got people hear the term K style.
Mm-hmm.
It's K style because the front of it kind of is shaped like a K, right?
Yep.
You've got basically they used to make 4-inch. I don't think you see that much anymore, but there's 5-inch and there's 6-inch.
And why do you starting to see 6-inch become a thing in residential construction? Because they think that just because a bigger gutter will make it work better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't have to. The installation details don't have to be as exact. That's BS, right?
No.
If you knew the work, do it right.
And I heard this one time. Well, they told me that if I put 6-inch on with the 3x4-inch downspouts, everything will wash through.
Not happening.
Not true.
No,
not true at all. All it takes is one little twig
to block,
go across the top of that downspout, and now everything's back.
Then you have the helicopter invasion like we're having right now.
Yeah, you said you've got helicopters.
It is a bumper in Northeast Wisconsin. It's a
Silver Maples.
Silver Maples with the whirly twirlies helicopters. I mean, I think they're the best thing that ever happened to a gutter company.
Great. I loved them as a kid.
Right.
I'd play with them.
Correct. But yeah, it is a year that like the trees are just sagging with the helicopters, and they're big. They're some of the biggest helicopters I've seen in a lot of years. So it's going to cause havoc in people's gutters. So just because you have a big gutter, big downspouts, that doesn't mean that your gutters are good.
Yeah. So for a homeowner, yeah, you've got regular open gutters. You've got a plethora of screens, micro screens. And I'll admit, hey, micro screens actually can work really well at not letting anything into your gutter.
Correct.
Nothing can get through it. That's also the problem in where nothing can get through it. So that screen or filter itself can actually plug up. Some of the covers can work well, but again, we have to make sure that the system works right. So for a homeowner, in your opinion, or your expertise, let's say they're going to they need new gutters. What are some of the things that they should be looking for?
So I think for the wife, typically, how does it look? Right? Because there are some.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really care how it looks too, man.
You don't. So how does it look is a big important thing for the wife. But the biggest thing is how's it going to function, right? How is this going to be designed in your house? Like some people have long runs. You need to get the proper. I mean, when it rains hard, there's a lot of water come off your roof. I mean, you think these roofs aren't getting any smaller? I mean, back in the 70s and 80s when your house was 1,200 square feet and you had a 412 roof pitch, there's not that much roof.
20, 30 foot runs of gutters, max.
But now look at the size of these houses. Houses are getting bigger. They're getting steeper, right? So they want them to make it look nicer.
Yep.
So the amount of water comes off that roof is getting bigger. So just because what you had 20 years ago doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work today.
Yep. So as a homeowner, here's what I would say you want to look for. Proper size.
Yep.
5-inch or 6-inch. To be honest with you, either one will work.
5's going to look better in a house.
5 will look better, but either one will work perfectly fine if it's designed properly. Right. You could put a 2-inch gutter up there as long as you have enough drains or downspouts, it'll work. Mm-hmm. You've just got to get the water out. So a 5 or 6-inch, you're going to want to look for an aluminum that's an 032.
032. Yeah.
Like that's what's going to hold up here. We have a term, we call it pop can aluminum. Like there's some gutters that you can get 5-inch seamless aluminum gutter that is so thin it won't make it through a winter. And I've seen it before. Well, we only paid $1,000 for it. Great. Yep. That's now you're going to pay $5,000 to put a new one up the next year because it's going to be wrecked. You're going to want to make sure that you've got an adequate drip edge. Make sure that when they put that up, that the back of the gutter is tucked up behind the drip edge. Otherwise, through surface tension, the water will come off the roof. It will roll around the shingle. And if it's the back of the gutter is not behind that drip edge or gutter apron, it'll go right behind the gutter.
Yep. And then what happens is that water hits a screw or the nail that's installed into it, and it takes and follows that right back into the wood.
And go right back into the wood. Not to mention, if you have wood fascia and that water's constantly running behind there, it's going to start to rot it. Mm-hmm. We see it
all the time,
every single day. Mm-hmm. Another thing you need to look for is if you just have a regular open gutter or a maintenance-free gutter system, how do they attach the downspouts? Mm-hmm. If they use a stint, if you look up in the gutters, you ever been in there, you'll see they just drilled a hole and they put this little coupling in there, a little stint. but that has a little lip on it that sticks up in the gutter, and then they have to seal around it. It's amazing that that's all it takes.
Clog it.
Slow the water, and all the debris is washing down, and it slows, and it sits.
Yep.
And then it happens again, and it sits. And before you know it, the gutters aren't working. They're full of water, and they're full of mosquitoes in the summer.
Well, and why do people do that? Because it's faster.
It's easier.
It's easier. Correct.
It's just easier.
And it's not what's
Drill the
best
hole.
for you.
No.
But it's easier for the installer. And that's really the shame of all the things we do here at Larson & Keeney is we never do what's easy for us. We always try to make decisions what's best for the homeowner and what's going to work the best, even though it might be some extra work for us.
Mhm.
But that's why you're paying to have an expert there.
Yep. I think that if anybody's going to get new gutters and that contractor is going to put 2x3-inch downspouts on,
Kick them out.
that's horrible. They're literally just trying to give you the cheapest thing, and those downspouts are too small and they clog so easily. Now let's take a 2x3-inch downspout, yay big, and then you put screws into it. Okay, now your hole's that big. No leaf's going to go through that without getting caught. Now the downspout's getting plugged. When the downspout's plugged, that's even harder to clean out. Now, when we're talking maintenance-free gutter systems, now that's a whole nother ballgame. It's a whole nother price point. But if anybody's had gutters and trees, you know.
There's no hiding.
It is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I bought a house down here after we'd opened the company? It took a while. Could only afford to rent. And we bought this house, and it had the worst gutters on it. But I wasn't worried about my gutters. I was worried about other people's gutters. And finally, I had to get up and clean those gutters.
It might be the worst job in the world.
It's horrible. Because not only were they full of leaves and muck, they're full of water. You also touch them, and mosquitoes fly out of them. And it was horrible. And I was like, okay, I get it. But I never wanted to take my guys off of working on other people's homes to come fix mine.
Until your wife convinced you
to.
Right.
Well, no, my wife looks at me and she goes, do you have any idea how bad this looks? You have your company truck sitting in the driveway and you are cleaning your gutters. I'm like, you know what? You're probably right.
That's why she's smarter than you.
She's smarter than me. She's right. So I had them replaced and never touched them again. But also with maintenance-free gutters, I don't know if there's any gutter in the world that is actually completely maintenance-free.
No.
Everything's going to require something at some time. Is the company you choose or the product, are they going to handle that for you? And I had my radio show this morning, and that's what I talked about. I said, listen, we're not like a filter company that says, where you call and say, hey, my screen is plugged. Okay, you need to go up there with the brush and brush it off.
We don't.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, there's companies that give you a parting gift.
Yeah,
when you buy, they give you a brush. That's a terrible idea.
Here, happy birthday, Merry Christmas forever. Brush your gutters off. Yeah. Gutter won't clog, but the screen will. And then there's others that are, very well-known name that you need a service. Okay, great. That'll be $300 for us to come out and look at it.
Right. That's terrible.
That never happens with us. I don't care what it is, leaking, clogging, overflowing, ice damage, whatever it is, call us. We're going to fix it, and there's no charge.
I think that was one of the foundations we built our businesses on was
100%.
Servicing to a fault almost. Like there was times that we went and did service for people that was 100% their fault, that we should have built them for them, but that's not how we built their business.
How many downspout extensions that got run over by the lawnmower have we replaced for free? The dog chased the squirrel up.
Yep, and just tears the crap out of it.
Last one I'll never forget I went to, it was like a murder scene. A chipmunk went up the downspout, and that dog ripped into that downspout, and that downspout's thick, and it was just blood everywhere.
From the dog trying to chew through
the dog.
Yeah, trying to get through
ripping his gums up.
Right.
Still didn't get the chipmunk either. The chipmunk's probably sitting up top going,
kind of remind you of Tom and Jerry, right?
Like, good Lord, your dog needs Xanax or something. Things got issues. But it's funny because they were mad at us about it. And I was like, what? Right. Jog's chasing a chipmunk. Like, the downspout seems like a real good spot to run up.
If I'm getting chased by something, I'm going up somewhere. They can't get me.
Exactly. But we're always going to take care of it for you. That's just what we do.
Well, and I'll go back to something. I think it's important that people ask that question. Like, what is, after the sale, if I buy from you, whatever company it is, what does the service procedure look like?
What if in 2 years my corner is leaking?
Right.
what are you going to do?
Right.
We're going to come back and fix
Well,
it.
at the end of the day, everything that's done on a house, it's made by humans, installed by humans. So it's inevitably some things are going to happen.
Absolutely.
That is the reality of it.
There's not a sealant on this world or on this planet that is made to withstand the climate changes in Wisconsin, that the seasons that Wisconsin sees, it just doesn't exist.
No.
When you get 100 degrees in the summer and 30 below in the winter, stuff happens.
That stuff happens.
We buy the best stuff we can, and trust me, it is not cheap, but it's not going to last forever.
No. And that's why when you ask the question, what does your service policy look like? What's it going to cost me? And what's your time frame? Like, we have a policy that, we want to get there within a week of service coming in.
Well, it depends on the severity too.
Right. Yeah, if it's something that's causing a major problem, we're
Yeah,
there tomorrow.
You call me and say, "Hey, they're overflowing." Ooh, that's a problem. We got to get there now.
Right.
I got a drip coming out of the corner. We'll try to be there within a week.
Yep.
Get it taken care of for you. But there's never going to be a charge. And yes, you're right. I love that service to a fault.
Correct.
Stuff that was not our fault, we got you.
Well, and even things that, people call, I think my gutters are clogged. So we go out there, send a crew out there. They get out there, and what do they find? Some of the weirdest stuff. The neighbor, and I'll never forget the one.
Oh, the
Remember,
neighbor playing a joke on
Yeah,
us
he
now?
played a joke. So we opened, it must have been 2010, 11. We put gutters on for a guy up in Green Bay, and he was proud as a peacock.
Probably wouldn't shut up about
He
it.
wouldn't shut up, and his neighbor got so pissed at him. Sorry, Shane. So mad at him that he literally went there and stuck a garbage bag
Up
in the
in
gutter, so it clogged the downspout hole. And he, so this guy that was ranting raving was new gutters. He was so proud. He had to call us and goes, got a problem. My gutters are clogged. I'm like, there's no way. He's like, they're overflowing. Your gutters are clogged. I'm like, well, we'll come and check it out, but they're not clogged. And he was like devastated. All of a sudden we get there, and the crew goes up there and they look, and there's a bag stuffed in the gutter that was clogging the downspouts. Obviously put there by somebody. And then his neighbor actually fessed up and said, "Yeah, you had to shove out your gutters because I couldn't listen to you anymore talk about your gutters. I didn't have them and you did."
Now just think if that would have caused his basement.
Oh my gosh,
That would be a
that
problem.
would have been a trying time for neighborhood relations.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So, I mean, honestly, there's all different types of gutters, sizes. They come in many different colors. They're attached many different ways. There's lots of different thicknesses and quality to what you can buy. And that's just what you need to know. Listen, where we live here in Wisconsin, you need a decent sized gutter, 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
It needs to be thick.
Maybe thick.
It needs to be attached with a bracket at least every 2 feet.
Well, let's go back 1 second. The inspection, when we go there, I think is one of the most important things we do for somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Because not only are we looking at,
Yep.
You have trees growing on your gutters. You obviously know that your gutters are a problem, right? But there's more to it than just what meets the eye. And when our guys go there, they're using the moisture meters. They're checking the stability of the wood behind it. Like, they're doing a lot more in that inspection that they're going to show you than most gutter companies even think about, because they're
Who
not
does an
thinking about you.
inspection?
Right? Who does an inspection, and then a video inspection that you can show the homeowner
Yeah.
that they can see their house, their condition, with a written report of this is what condition your gutters are in.
This is what's going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get to houses, hey, their gutters are in great shape.
Right.
They just clog all the time. We can fix that. So if you're looking for gutters, just think about those things before you decide. And if you're getting prices and one person's $10,000 and one person's $1,000, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason for that, because they are not all created equally.
Right.
Look, I mean, we're definitely never the cheapest person. But along with that comes a lifetime of service that we will take care of your gutters for you, for the next homeowner. I don't think we even, it doesn't really matter.
I can't think of the 15 years you and I have had these businesses
No,
that we said, no, sorry, we're not going to service you.
no. Third owner, it doesn't matter. If it's our product, we're going to take care of it. You're part of our family, and that's just how we work. So, protecting foundations, protecting basements, protecting siding, window wells, landscaping. There's
And the mental stability of you and your wife. Like, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than hearing it rain and knowing your gutters are probably not working.
I know my father growing up, if it was stormy at night, I know he didn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I wish we would have took a video of how we had to get up and clean it out. 2.5 stories high, 10 pitch.
Oh, the window?
Oh no, we have to get up on the lower roof, put another ladder up, get on the very high roof. But here's the best part. So you know my father, I'm quite a bit larger than he is. So I'd be like the anchor up on top of the roof with a rope around me, and he'd have a rope around his waist, and he'd shimmy down and clean the gutters out. And it's like, honestly, if he fell, now there's just going to be 2 of us dying. There's no way I'm going to stop him from falling.
Not a chance.
There's no way. Finally, I started working for Linda's Construction, and obviously sold gutters. And I looked and I said, I am not doing this crap anymore.
Right.
One of us is going to die, or both of us are going to die.
Well,
we are changing this out.
I mean, you think about our beloved Max McGee. You know,
100%, yeah.
I was 2 blocks away
Mhm.
when he died that day, cleaning off his roof and the leaves off his roof and gutters. I was literally around the corner and down a block and a half.
Yeah.
I heard the fire trucks, heard the cop cars, heard the ambulance.
His
Didn't know what it
wife
was.
told him, do not, she was leaving for the weekend, do not go clean the gutters. He went and cleaned the gutters, and they figure he laid there for maybe possibly 36 hours, alive, but couldn't move.
Yep.
It's horrible.
Terrible.
I met lots of people that I said lots, but probably a dozen that knew of or had.
Didn't you have a surgeon that you
Yeah, yes. I had busted my leg snowboarding, and then he knew what I did. He had listened to my radio show, and he said, man, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if I guys want you guys to replace a lot of gutters, because people cleaning out their gutters, man, they pay my bills. He's like, ladder falls that is my number one. Wrists, shoulders, arms, and legs breaks.
and you're fortunate if that's all it is.
And exactly. He goes, I only see the ones that survive.
Right.
So anyway, I think that's a lot of information for today on gutters.
It's the rainy season. It's the season of a lot of debris. Don't be foolish and don't stick your head in the sand. If you need help with your gutters, call us.
Give us a call. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Until next time, guys.